But yeah, Royal, let me see. So do you have it nearby, or because I just wanted to ask first and foremost, I'm guessing, Royal, you know how to play some chords, right? And do you know how to do any lead stuff, like any scales, anything like that? Just curious what your level currently is. All right. While I'm tuning. Oh, really? Less? I wonder. I guess he just didn't have as much time, yeah. Ah, yeah, so you do know some pentatonics. That's very good. That's very good, actually. Yeah, I was actually hoping to show you maybe if you didn't know. But basically, do you know how to apply them? Like, let's say if you're listening to a song, right? Like, even if it's any kind of track that you enjoy, but specifically, let's say you start with some backing tracks online. Do you know how to use a pentatonic scale? Let's say, if you know A minor pentatonic, would you be able to use it over an A minor, backing track, basically? Basically, yes, exactly. Every single note would be in tune, exactly, because you're staying within the same key. That's right. Sorry, I'm just tuning up. Yeah, there we go. So if we're talking something like, yeah, exactly. Let's actually experiment a little bit. I'm just literally gonna line up a little backing track. Let me see if I have something just prepared. Give me a sec. Yeah, we just reacted to this. So let's just say, just for the sake of argument, exactly. Let's grab an A minor backing track. Doesn't have to be blues, just any A minor. Yeah, easy groove, backing track in A minor. Sure, why not? I haven't heard it. I just want to see. So, like, let's line this. Not gonna play the whole thing. Yeah, let's see how this sounds. Just to see if it's appropriate to use as an example. Yep, definitely. So there you go. You see something like this. As long as you know the first shape of A minor, right? Like, which is this one, on the 5th fret, starting on the 5th fret of the low E string, right? You do know how to play this one, right? I'm actually just gonna stay within the shape just to show you. You see what I'm trying to do here, basically? I'm showing you that you can do a lot of melodies, a lot of interesting phrasing just by staying within the same position. So you see what I'm trying to kind of impart here is you don't even need to know all five positions of the pentatonic scale, which is a good position to it's a good thing to learn. But even if you just know one scale, which I do believe this one you know, so it's like, let me just quickly refresh it for you because it's a very useful shape. So you have your 5th fret on the E string, then you go to the 8th fret, right? So it's 5-8. Then on the A string it's 5-7, then it's 5-7 again on the D, 5-7 on the G, and then it's 5-8 and 5-8 on the B and the E. So it's very symmetrical scale, actually. And just immediately, the most important thing, yeah, nice. The most important thing to know when you're starting out just soloing is where the root note is. Obviously, you start on the root note here. The first note that you play is the root note, which is like the main note in the key, if you want to call it that way. The one that you go back to, for instance, if you want a phrase to end strongly, it's a good idea to end it on the root note. It will just resolve perfectly that way. So the first thing you need to know, just, try to practice this. Try to know where the root notes are. So you have one here, which is the A note on the 5th fret of the E string. And the same note can be found right here. It's just an octave higher. That right there is the 7th fret of the D string, right there. So check this out. That's the note. So you can go. There you go. And there's one more root note within the same shape. It's right here. It's on the high E string, also on the 5th fret, because the same note as this. Just a couple of octaves higher in this case. So it's this note, same note. So you see we got like that, basically. So as long as you know where those are, it's very important. If you're soloing within this position, I'll just demonstrate. So just keep it in mind, right? You have the 5th fret here, 7th fret here, and then 5th fret on the E string. So I'll just play a couple of more phrases within the same scale shape, and you'll see what I mean by resolving it strongly. A again, and then. You see how nicely it resolves? It's like it's finished right there. Let's try again now. Again, now it's on the D string. You see root note? And now on the low E string, you see? So this is the kind of thing you can start with if you want to like do some basic improvisation and to get a feel for how to use a scale over a backing track especially. Start like this. Try to stay comfortable within one scale shape, in this case the first position of pentatonic. First position of A minor pentatonic. And focus on root notes at first. Gradually you can expand to understand what the functions of the other notes in the scale are, and it's really not that complicated because pentatonic, scale, like the name suggests, is only 5 notes. So it's not that much to go through. But at first, focus on hitting the target root notes, basically. And that will help you immensely. You'll already be able to do phrases that are much more controlled. You'll just know where you need to land. And that's a very important thing. Because I think in soloing in general, and especially in improvisation in particular, it's so important where you land. Because you can do some absolutely outrageous bullshit like... And then somehow, when you land on the right note, you can do complete nonsense. And somehow it will still sound to your listener like you knew what you were doing by the end because you landed in a good spot. So it's very important to know where the root notes are. So start there, and you'll be able to do some really, really nice melodic improvisation pretty much from the start. Don't worry, we'll get to that section as well. You'll be able to do all sorts of crazy stuff. But at first, start with one scale shape, get a couple of backing tracks. Don't just use one backing track. That can be quite boring after a while because you'll be excited about one backing track maybe for a day or two, and then after that you'll be like, oh man, I have to play over that same backing track again. It's a good idea to get like 3 or 4 or even 5 different backing tracks just in the same key. Just look for backing tracks in A minor so that you're still able to use the exact same scale shape, and again exercising, figuring out where the root notes are. So I think that's a perfect starting point. I just wanted to share it because I feel like a lot of people think that improvisation is this extremely difficult task. And yes, if you want to be a really proficient improviser, it's a lot of work, and I'm barely scratching, I wouldn't say I'm even scratching the surface here, but there's a lot of very basic things you can do that will still be very satisfying, and really fun to do. And and you can grow from that, It's a very gradual process. It's bit by bit, just like everything else. Just don't be intimidated by it. There's a lot to learn, but if you take small steps, it's really more than manageable. It's more than manageable. I think I will, Royal. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. It's just now the latest project has been learning all these songs, but I gotta find the time to get the whole learning thing off the ground, because I think it would be fun. I would enjoy teaching, and I think a lot of people would find some benefit in this, Connor is absolutely right, by the way, not pretentious at all. That's so true. That's something I struggle with a lot myself. I have to be very conscious of that. Because what we're talking about here is exactly like, if you have a backing track playing, it's a really common temptation, not just for guitar players, but I feel like for guitar players especially, is just to fill up all the space, just you have your backing happening, and you're just like... I do that so often, just complete nonsense sometimes. But you gotta be able to leave space. Just a little bit of silence there for effect. Exactly, it's so important. And that's one of the most essential aspects of phrasing, is exactly what Connor said, leaving space. Just don't play when you feel like it's a good idea not to play, leave some space. It's gonna make your solo so much more impactful, so much more exciting, for sure.